know, there's this constant violence. It has to do with this Dagbon, and even in your area, Bole, you know, they had, I mean, what is it? What can you do in your position? Because I know your people might be pointing fingers at you or expecting you to say something or do something.
Chieftaincy still is an important institution as a custodian of our culture and as a certain layer of traditional authority and governance.
Yeah.
You know, now considering the genesis of all these have their roots, one in colonialism, where the colonial governments tried to use chiefs as part of governance. Then also two, it has roots in the culture of the people. Three, it has roots in issues to do with land. Now, I believe that as we modernize, the institution of chieftaincy has to modernize along with it. It cannot remain the age-old institution that generated conflict, that led people into war and things. We're not going to go into war again, you understand? So our chiefs become the custodians of our culture. They become the custodians of land still because they control the land. Now, as we modernize and people get detached from the land in respect of being able to develop their potential as human beings, not necessarily based on what size of land you have, but based on what you have here, that is building knowledge societies. I'm sure that the role of chiefs will change. I'm not saying their influence will wane, but I'm saying that their role will change. And they need to modernize and adapt the institution in order to keep up.
Before we go on, are they allowed to take part in politics?
Chiefs are not allowed presently by our constitution to participate in politics, but we have cases where it does happen. They cannot run openly for office in the sense of running as a member of parliament.
But they can declare their intention openly?
It doesn't say. It says that they cannot run for elective office, but it doesn't say that they cannot declare who they support.
So assuming the chief of my village, I mean, comes out openly to support NPP, it's fine with the constitution?
By the spirit of the law, he shouldn't, because he leads
a lot of
people.
Okay.
And political parties cut across traditional areas.
Okay.
And so he should not come out and say, I support this particular political party, because then what happens is you alienate a segment of your people.
That's what I want to get very clear.
So you have to try and be as neutral as possible.
Okay.
You might have your own prejudices,
just like
but
a pastor.
Yeah, just try and be as neutral as possible.
Okay.
I'm suspicious of chiefs who come out and declare their intentions for political parties. But you notice that the chiefs who do that, you know, often when the wind changes direction, they're the same people who after some time will say, oh, we realized that government was not too good. Now if this president leaves, we will abdicate us too. I mean, the days of them abdicate, they will never abdicate. You know, so I think that our chiefs should be the leadership at a certain level. Okay. You know, but increasingly as we modernize, you know, I'm sure that things will change. With the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, it's a 20-year program. And so we do have teeth in problems. I know that people have been a bit critical about the way things have been handled. It took a bit of time to go through Parliament because we needed to make sure that the law was right and everything was in order. Now that we have the board in place, we're going to do the appointments to the executive authority and then, you know, get them. The board is going to start to deal with the working environment, that in terms of the head office and fit it out and all that.
Your Excellency, you helped your party to come back to power, you know, during the campaign and all of that. How was the feel like when you heard the announcement that you are back in power?
Well, let me say we put a lot of energy into the campaign. We had limited resources throughout the campaign, and it was a shoestring budget. You know, sometimes you had to hold the team and wait for resources to come from Accra before you continue. I mean, there was no money for even food sometimes. There was no money for food and to pay for the fuel and all that. but a lot of people helped. And that's why I can understand sometimes when people feel frustrated. Yes. Yeah, because you go somewhere and somebody says, look, let's go, fuel all your vehicles.
Wow.
And he goes and he fills up every single car and he pays the bill. You understand? So they want to see some quicker,
some significant
exactly
change.
And I assure them, I mean, that they should remain patient. They would see that what they did was the best. This party is going to lead this country, into, I mean, things that we've never seen before. I mean, we're going to make a lot of progress. But let me say that the election was tough, but somehow I felt very calm about it. I had this feeling in my gut, that God had destined that we would win.
Preach on,
yeah.
Your Excellency.
So I was confident in everything that we did, and I knew we were going to win. When the difficulties came, towards the end, they were prophetic because we knew. I mean, I had heard and been told that we're going to do 3 elections. And I said, no, it doesn't happen in Ghana. We do a first round. If nobody wins, we do a second round. There's never a situation where we have a 3rd election.
Yeah.
And then time came up. It showed that there were 3 votes,
So God spoke?
Yeah, God spoke. I believe that God had a hand in our victory. Yeah.
If our leaders could believe in God, who are we not to?
I believe he had a hand in our victory. And I had a certain self-confidence that we would win. But when Afai-Gyan read the final thing that showed we had won, it was like walking a dream. The campaign was finally over. You were not going on the trail again and working. So you were sitting and they announced that you